Afternoon all. Well, you can see all the stuff has been moved to the bow of the boat because obviously I flow coated that out last video. So today I then got to flow coat the stern of the boat. See, that's all nothing in there, so that all need flow coating in the outside compartments. But if you look, that's all been rubbed down. I just give it all a hoover, so it's pretty clean. But this week I'm going to actually show you me actually rolling the flow coat out, because last time I didn't. There is a little bit of a technique to it. Not much, in brain science, but there's a little bit of technique. Well, as before, I'm just going to go round and acetone all the bottom, just to bring the resin back to life. That's pretty straightforward. I'll now just continue and do all the rest of the little compartments. Well, I just weighed up the last of the flow coat. I've got 2 tubs with about 850 grams in it, and 1 tub were about 640. That was the last of the flow coat at a 5 kilo drum. So obviously I used a little bit more, and 2.5 kilo to do the front. Hopefully I won't use just as much, if not I'll have to crack it open another tub. Well, I just put the seagull pigment in. I'm now gonna just mix it up so that's all uniform colour. All great fun. Well, I just give that a thorough good mixing and it's all gone to a uniform colour. So all I've got to do is mix the catalyst in. Well, I just need to put a new roller on. That's all I use, a little 4-inch roller. If you look at the ribs, they're not that deep, and that cover most of that. You don't want a roller that's too big, so a little 4-inch roller is ample on the frame. It's perfect for the job. Well, for people who didn't watch the last video about me mixing up the flow coat and going into detail, this is gel coat with wax added. Normal gel coat, you put it in the mould first, lay mat on top of it, and that take the air away and go off. But obviously, because we're laying it on the surface like this, it's not going to have nothing on it, so standard gel coat wouldn't go off. So they get gel coat, mix a wax additive into it, so when you paint it on, the wax rises to the surface, seal the oxygen away, so then it cures with a catalyst. So we're now going to do these few sections each side, port and starboard towards the stern, get this all done. The difference between resin is, when resin's in the tub, normal laying up resin, when it's in the tub, that get warm, and then that's what causes it to cure. But this doesn't. When this is in the tub, that's really slow curing because there's such a low surface area oxygen. That's only obviously the surface what get oxygen to it, what start curing, but obviously you're taking it out all the time with the roller, so it don't cure in the tub. But resin will cure in the tub, so this is totally different. But obviously when I lay this, you don't want to play around with it, because once it goes thin and get a lot of air to it, or get the air taken away from it in a large surface area, that go off quickly, so you don't want to play with it too much. You've got to lay it on thick, roll it out, and then job's a good one. Well, I've just mixed the catalyst in and I'm ready to lay up. Roll it out. So just get a bit on the roller, don't be tight, and smear it on. See, look, you go too thin like that. You don't want to go too thin. You've got to lay it on thick. And don't try and pull it too much. Do the sides first. See, I've gone a little bit thin there. Do the sides first, anything what drip down, then just spread out. Just go out a couple of times, actually smear it on. Because if you go too thin, in a minute or two, the surface starts going tacky and you can't do nothing with it. That doesn't scrimp, put it on nice and thick. Do the sides first, so when it runs down the bottom you can then spread the bottom out. I'm surprised how much you use. This one's probably going to use 500ml. Obviously get in the corners and just spread it out. Make sure there's no pinholes. So if you go too thin, you get a few pinholes. Got to lay it on nice and thick. Got to try and touch as little as possible. You can keep going back over it. Let's see it start pulling then. Once you pull, start pulling your stuffed. Let it start going thin. So that's it. It actually gets better when it starts thickening and going off a bit, like it is now. But don't try and draw it out too much, that'll just go to get a L. as I said before, put it on thick and don't play about with it too much. Just get it on thick and sort of like spread it about. Don't draw it too much and try to roller it too much. Just spread it like that. Plenty on and push, like you're pushing custard about. See that cover a lot better like that. Put it on thick amount and just push. The first mix I'd done, I think because the temperature isn't so warm today, that didn't push out very well. But this stuff loads better. It's gone thicker now. But try not to go with the same spot twice. You do it like once or twice, but after that, leave it well alone. Because then all you do is just, you'll pull it. So that I've been over that bit a couple of times. Then you just leave it. There's no point in keep going over it, because all you'll do is it'll start drying pretty quickly and you just pull it off. So just remember, plenty on the roller, nice and thick. Push it, you more like you push it and spread it out more than you do roll it out. It's not like paint. Well, it's all done now. Ain't looking too bad. That's only just to seal the tanks inside from condensation. Most people don't do it, but if you do it yourself, well, it costs you a few quid in resin, because it's all not cheap, the old top coat or flow coat. But I think that's worth doing. When you do it yourself, you try and do a bit better job, don't you? And don't worry about expensing much, because you're not doing it to make any profit. Well, there weren't enough there in the original mixers. Them original mixers I done like 3 tubs, 2 800 grams and a 600. Then it weren't quite enough to do that last little bay there, so I had to mix up another 400 grams. So that's like 2.7 kilo to do that. That's a fair amount. That doesn't look that many square meterage, but I suppose when you talk about going up the sides, all around the ribs and stuff, that's probably half again compared to just the flat bottom of the boat. But now that's all done, we can let that go off. Obviously the rollers there, don't ever bother trying to waste your time cleaning them rollers, especially when you used it with flow coat, because that's virtually impossible. Just chuck the roller away in the bin. Or you can clean your brushes after you laid normal resin, that's no problem. But as soon as you use that gel coat, don't bother. They never clean up well enough, and for the price of them, it ain't worth messing about. Well, that's now all done. All the compartments are now flow coated out. Let this dry tonight, and then tomorrow we'll start with the Nidoplast sheets, preparing them to cut make the deck up. But you see there's a few runs in places, but this sort of thing, that's not a shop front, because it's under the deck, it's in sealed compartments, and it's better to have too much on and not enough. Water can't get through gel coat when it's thick, but I can get through it when it's too thin, and you get little pin pricks in it. But that's good enough for me, I'm happy with that. That's me all done for the day. Time to go and get some tea. I've only done a couple of hours today, because on nights at work last night, I had a few hours sleep, come and do a couple of hours in the afternoon for the old chap, and that's that. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow when we start with the Nidoplast deck. See you later, bye.